February 1916, Verdun, France. The sky above Verdun was gray, heavy, and silent. Then, without warning, the earth exploded. At 7:15 a.m. on February 21, 1916, German artillery unleashed one of the most intense bombardments the world had ever seen. More than 1,200 guns opened fire at once. Shells screamed through the air and slammed into French positions, shattering forts, forests, and men. Within hours, the landscape disappeared. Trees were reduced to splinters, villages vanished. Trenches collapsed, burying soldiers alive. The ground shook so violently that survivors later said it felt like the end of the world. This was the beginning of the Battle of Verdun, the longest and one of the bloodiest battles in human history. The German plan was chillingly simple. They did not aim to capture territory, they aimed to bleed France to death. Verdun was chosen because it was a symbol. A historic fortress city, the French could not abandon it. German commanders believed the French would pour endless troops into its defense and be destroyed by artillery. They were right, and so were the French. From the first day, French soldiers were ordered to hold at all costs. Retreat was not an option. Verdun would not fall. The slogan spread through the army, "Ils ne passeront pas, they shall not pass." Men arrived at Verdun by the thousands, transported along a single lifeline road known as the Sacred Way. Day and night, trucks carried soldiers forward and wounded men back. There was no pause, no escape. At the front, life became unbearable. Artillery never stopped. Shells fell day and night for months. Soldiers lived in constant terror, unable to sleep. The noise alone drove many insane. The dead lay everywhere, sometimes used as cover because there was nowhere else to hide. Fort WW1, one of Verdun's strongest forts, fell early to a small German force. Panic spread, French morale wavered, but reinforcements kept coming. General Philippe Pétain took command and reorganized the defense. He rotated troops constantly, ensuring that almost every French soldier would eventually serve at Verdun. By the end, nearly 70% of the entire French army would fight there. Verdun became a machine that consumed men. Gas attacks filled the air with poison. Flamethrowers burned trenches alive. Hand-to-hand combat erupted in shell holes where soldiers fought with knives, clubs, and bare hands. Rain turned the battlefield into mud. Summer heat rotted corpses where they fell. The smell of death never left. For months, neither side gained more than a few kilometers, but the killing never stopped. By July, the battle had already claimed hundreds of thousands of lives. German forces, exhausted and bled white, began to lose momentum. At the same time, the British launched the Somme offensive, forcing Germany to divert resources away from Verdun. Slowly, the French pushed back. Fort Douaumont was retaken in October. Fort Vaux followed. By December 1916, the front lines were almost exactly where they had been at the start. 10 months of fighting, almost no ground gained. The cost was unimaginable. Approximately 300,000 soldiers were killed. More than 700,000 were wounded. Verdun became a symbol of pointless slaughter. For the soldiers who survived, Verdun never truly ended. Many suffered shell shock, nightmares, and lifelong trauma. Some never spoke again. Others carried pieces of shrapnel inside their bodies for the rest of their lives. The land itself was poisoned. Even today, parts of the Verdun battlefield are uninhabitable. Unexploded shells still lie buried beneath the soil. Forests grow over mass graves. Verdun changed France forever. It hardened the nation, but it also scarred it. The phrase "they shall not pass" became legendary not because it promised victory, but because it demanded sacrifice beyond human limits. Verdun proved something terrifying about modern war. You did not need movement to destroy an army. You did not need victory to claim lives. You only needed time. The Battle of Verdun ended in December 1916, but for those who lived through it, the sound of artillery never truly stopped. Verdun was not just a battle, it was a warning. A warning written in blood, mud, and silence about what happens when nations decide that endurance matters more than human life.